Okay, so I've been the teacher librarian at Fresno County Office of Ed, now Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, for like the last 15 years. Okay, and I want to tell you that because I want you to understand that I still don't have the word librarian on my business card. Okay, that hasn't happened for us yet. I'm still a content coordinator, and even after 15 years, when I say library, what do they say? Book. That's exactly right. So when I talk to them about technology or literacy or all these cool things, when I say library, they say, and so I must be the book lady, right? Isn't that what I do? I'm a book lady. I give books to people. I collect them back. Maybe I'm mean about it sometimes. But so this whole presentation is just about expanding that view, because you know what? They're absolutely right. I do love books. I am that person who, when you talk to me about the thing you're interested in, what goes to the back of my head? Oh my God, I read a book about that. It happens every time. And then I think to myself, because I am a librarian, oh yeah, I don't think it was the Green Book. I think, oh, it was the book written by Robert Levine. Why do I remember these things? I do not know. But that's how I think. The problem is that if you are only the book lady, you get put in a very small space in whatever environment you're in. And they begin to wonder if they couldn't automate you and remove you. That's one of the great challenges, okay? And so I've spent the last 15 years trying to convince them that that's not the case, that teacher librarians are these super well-rounded people that have a lot to offer. And I think that we're making great inroads in terms of technology. I want you to just think about it and raise your hand if you think that where you work, when they think of you, they think, oh yeah, that lady knows something about technology. Yeah, see, it's almost everyone in the room. So we've made pretty good inroads in that regard, okay? But there's another aspect to it that absolutely mystifies me. So I can see why someone would say, oh, well, she's a book lady. Like, what would she know about technology? I can see that. But here's the part that really scares me. She's a book lady. She doesn't know how to teach kids how to read. Like, what happened, man? Books, print, literacy? Scary, huh? So I made a great effort with my ELA department to prove to them that librarians are in fact literate and that they are super capable teachers of literacy, and they may, I may argue, be the perfect person to teach content literacy, which is a huge buzzword. So when I started this presentation, I started it in terms of that. What can I do with technology that promotes literacy, that promotes books and reading? Okay? So we're going to talk about technology today, and we're going to talk about some of the things that we do. These are things all pulled from library workshops that we do. So if you've been to a library workshop, sorry, you probably saw it before. And I know, that's good news, I guess. And it's all stuff that I do with my ELA department now. Because after years of being their friend, they finally invited me to do workshops with them. And the workshop we do is around, what's her name, Jan Servino, and she's written this huge thing about guided reading and reading strategies. It's a massive book. Cervella, yep. And so we have started taking the reading strategies out of that book and creating technology applications for them and linking them to books in the library. So I'm going to say that again. That's a big endeavor, and I want you to do it too. Okay? So we have started taking, in my county office, there are the books on reading strategies that are being used in the classrooms to promote literacy, K-12, the reading strategies, adolescent reading strategies. We have started taking those and adapting them, enhancing them with technology, okay, and then applying the right books to them. So that's like a fabulous little marriage of technology and books and literacy. So those are the things I want you to be thinking about that in the back of your head as we go through today. That's my soapbox. I'm off of it now. So the first thing I want to talk about is ownership. When you want kids to read and write, especially write, they have to take ownership. They have to take ownership in what they're doing. They have to be able to put their mark on it. They have to feel like it belongs to them. Okay? So we started the school year with the fantasy vacation. My county office is being remodeled, and they remote located me to a career technical high school for the year that had absolutely no library at all. And they said, well, you know, I have to put you and some of your books out there. So we had to have a place to go, right? I know, it's true. And I love the fact that my superintendent said, oh, great. Are we putting a library in there? That'd be fabulous. A library married with career technical education, it'd be great. And he looks at me, he said, this is a career technical school. You don't need a library. I know. Now you think of all of your continuation schools and technical schools, and then you go glimpse their scores on the dashboard, and then you discover that those are most of the schools in my county that are headed into DA, you know, directed assistance, are from that area, okay? That and special education. And here my superintendent is telling me, well, you know, we don't really need that. He's not opposed. He's a really nice guy. But he doesn't see the link between them. So that's been my part-time, you know, entertainment. In addition to being the county, going off to all the schools in the county, I've been trying to promote this library so that we get to stay. Oh, there's my hello summer vacation. So what we did is we started the school year with this really fun little app that we're all going to play with in just about 1 minute. And we went on a fantasy vacation. So I got all of the teaching staff to, we green screened them. And the app is called Remove BG. It's really, really easy. And then they cast themselves into various backgrounds. And then we put it up in the library, and we invited the kids to do it. I wrote on the whiteboard, this is how you do it. You know, you don't have to tell me where you really went. You can just tell me where you think you should have gone. So clearly this is a Lord of the Rings, you know, lover and follower, the science teacher. Now, the math teacher, he had a little bit different plan. That's the registrar. She had spent the whole summer working, and she just wanted a nice cup of coffee. And this is one of the technical teachers. Yes, everybody knows. I did not, because they didn't even know me. I was like 48 hours old on their campus. I did not mention to him this is probably tragic copyright infringement right here, okay? But it lived in my library, and I was happy that he was willing to participate. So that's how the wall got started. And then it began to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right, as the kids added to their stuff. But what I discovered was that when you can put your face on it, that is just a huge draw for kids in projects and such. And so they created themselves, and they have animated themselves all over their projects ever since. All over their projects. And a lot of what they do is building. And so we're just finishing a project where the kids, they've designed it in CAD, they've created it, and now we put them on those little round robin rolly things, and we filmed their project going all the way around, the actual three-dimensional design. And now they're going to do presentations on that. And so guess what got right in the middle of all of their presentations? Themselves, exactly. So this is how you do it. And so I want everyone to just give it a whirl, okay? So the first thing you do is you get a Google slide, and you find the background that you want. It's pretty easy. You can do it in PowerPoint if your school is a Microsoft school. And then the second thing you do is you go and you strike a pose somewhere. Okay? You take your picture, and then you remove your background. This remove BG is absolutely free. And then you put your your picture, it's going to be just your silhouette, on your Google slide, and you can make it as large or as small as you want to. So I'm going to escape out of this for a second. So here's remove BG. And it's as easy as that. You upload an image, you remove the background, you download the image, you're ready to go. It's a JPEG. Yeah, I know. It's pretty easy, isn't it? And so the kids all do it on their phone. They don't have any trouble surfing back and forth. This is a high school situation, but they do. They all do it on their phone. They create themselves. They make themselves. That's how, well, that's not how I created this most recent one, but that's how was I in that one? I can't remember. But that's how it happens. And then, does everybody know how to animate things? How many of us are Google schools and how many of us are Microsoft schools? Google's. Almost everybody in the room. It's harder to animate in Google. Microsoft? Oh, small group. Sorry. So then, once you get into it, you put it in there, and you can animate slides. All you have to do is you take that same background, and you copy the slide about 15 times, and then you take your picture, and in each slide, you copy your picture, and you move it just a little bit, and you move it just a little bit, and you move it just a little bit, and then you just time the slides to play rapidly during that time, and automatically, it's just like the little flip book that you did as kids, where you drew the picture and then you drew the picture again, and when you flipped, it looked like a cartoon animation moving. That's how you animate in Google Slides, and so the kids do this. They animate themselves. They have themselves. You notice how I gently swung in. They get far more creative than I do. So, has anyone given it a try? Do you have another one besides remove BG? Oh, it is. Oh, this is entry-level ownership, right? So immediately you can put yourself in the slide, and kids totally take part in that. And they just like my, okay, well, first of all, crusty career technical education teachers, all right? Just, they are not necessarily the most willing to jump in and do something new. But did you notice what happened with the slides? Once the first guy gave it a whirl, the rest of them were like, whoa, I can do this. And so they immediately jumped on board. Is there anybody that's new to or they just want to make an inroad into their staff? Go to the faculty meeting and do this. It's remarkable. You just have to get one person to do it for you in advance, and you slap up that first one on the screen, and the rest of them are like, oh my God, that's Fred karate kicking the Tower of Pisa, you know? And then they immediately want to do that. And you just set up your little station, and the next thing you know, they're all doing it. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. So this is entry-level ownership. The other thing that happens is they begin to think of you as somebody other than, what is it? I say library, you say book. Exactly. Yes. No. So let me see if I can, do you want me to do one really quick? Okay. So let me see if I can find one that I can upload a picture of Brigeen. Upload image. Oh, shoot. This is a Brigeen image, but does it have stuff? Nope. See, that's one I already did. Darn it. There I am. I know. Do you like that? I'm about to touch the Eiffel Tower in that one, but I know I have it. Where's the green screen one? I just did one. Oh, that was Sheldon. Okay, so there he is. No, you don't have to. No, that's just, we were in the teeny tiny little place that's the library there, which is about the size of this room for an entire high school. And that was the only open space. Did not need that. Let me find one where do I have one? Oh, here we go. There's a school counselor. She spent the whole summer working. Okay, so now I'm going to upload her image. Open. See how it does that? Now, we didn't want to have the stripe going across here, right? We needed to get rid of that. It just automatically does it. So you can go to edit. And we can change, we can make it look prettier and all the rest of that. But here in Restore and Erase, I can pick Erase. Now, I'm doing this with one hand, so I'll probably take her feet off, but just be prepared. See how you can just get rid of anything you don't want? That's how I had the picture of the construction teacher writing, remember? We just cut off his lower section so that he would fit with the picture. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is really simple. This is entry level. It's right over there. We're going to do ink together. Yeah, we're on it. Does anyone else have any questions about how that might work for you? Okay, good. Okay, so when you get the slide deck, that's the link to remove BG in case you forgot, because I'm capable of that too. There's more coming. Okay, so then the second thing that, because I'm coming at this from the point of view of, I want to promote literacy, I want to promote technology, I want to promote library books all at the same time. Remember, in the new standards, speaking and listening are active standards, and they're huge ELD standards. And so speaking and listening is really, really important. And for the lower grades, that means organizing fluency. And there are some great ways to use Google Slides and products to promote fluency and such. So I just want to point out that when we're doing this, we are moving ourselves closer to what our teachers are being required to do, as opposed to further away.
So my goal is always, because I listen to my ELA department, is to take the mentor text, whatever it is, the text, mentor text being the text that they are going to use to teach the concept or the structure that they want the kids to learn. Okay? If you haven't gone to your department and asked them what their mentor texts are, so that you can support them with books that are either parallel reads or they're in the same subject area, or they're completely different, but they also identify the structure that's trying to be taught. If you haven't done that, do it. Because that makes you more useful to the teachers in your school. Okay? So, here we go. Speaking and listening. So, oral language precedes, it's foundational to written language. Listening, speaking improves oral fluency. Well, in my storied past as a school teacher, I taught kids who couldn't pass the high school exit exam. And I will tell you right now that you've got to get them talking in order to get them writing. Because they don't see any value in writing. They don't find it as a communication tool. That has to be taught. Okay? So I thought, woo, fun. Let's make talking books. So that's what we did. So here I am. Whoop, oh, go backwards. Oh. I guess you will not be hearing this today. Try again. I've got my microphone, in previous ones. There we go.
Yeah, let's see if it'll go now.
suppose the special ingredient for dinner is? Better listen to the little geese.
Could you hear it? Okay, so I'm in my library. Now this one is going to use the green screen. Oh, don't catch myself. I'm going to wrap myself up in this so that it's just my head showing, okay, because it's going to be video. And so what the plan was here, and I'm going to do this again in a big school district in my county, and I'm going to have all the library technicians do it because there aren't a lot of teacher librarians in that school district. So what we did was we had kids. There we go. That's me again. We don't want to hear me. Up, there we go. We had kids do the book trailers for picture books, and then we made them into QR codes, and we created a book display that was filled with the books with the QR codes on them, so that when I took them to the elementary schools in my county, the kids could come up with their iPads, and the book would talk to them. That was our goal. It worked, by the way, too. So here's one of my adorable high school students doing it. Let's see if we can get her to sound.
Who has wiggly waggy toes? I do. Who has flippy floppy feet? I do. Can you stomp your flippy floppy feet? Yes, and more.
Isn't that hilarious? I know. And so I want us to do one. Well, here's the deal. In order to write that, she had to read the whole book. Yes. Nope. That was her book talk. So what happened was I had the kids in advisory do this. Anyone who wanted to, you just come to the library. I'm amazed at how many kids take me up on this sort of stuff. Like we have this idea, and it's lunchtime or something, and I just turn to them and say, "Hey, does anyone want to try to blah, 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 blah," and they come over, "Sure," and then away we go. So you choose your book, you write your catchy hook, which they're reading children's books, so the reading goes pretty fast. You take a picture of your book cover, and then you record yourself against the green screen. So that's what we're going to do right now. And then I went in and taught them how to write a good book talk. So show sincerity, avoid saying too much, prepare something tantalizing. The English teachers love this. They're going to invite me to do this with them actually in English. It may come out of advisory, going forward. Okay, so they saw the value in it. I really see the value in it in the elementary schools where a 4th or 5th grade student can read a children's book and synthesize what they've read and then put it into their book talk and then put it onto the book. I've taught guided reading in enough schools to know that we have a significant number of kids that are actually reading picture books in 4th and 5th grade. Yeah. Remember, 1 in 4 Americans is functionally illiterate. Yeah, so that statistic, that means they can sound out words, but they can't actually make meaning. They don't make good meaning out of the text that they need to read. So if you think, wow, reading children's books, that's not, oh yes it is. Okay? And we live in California where this is a great way for an ELD student to practice their English fluency too. Okay? So we're going to use Do Ink. Is everybody familiar with Do Ink? Someone in the back of the room is. Anybody else? Oh, good. A couple people. And it looks very primary, but I use it all the time with high school kids. So our book is going to be our background. We're going to take a video giving the book hook, and then we are going to save it on the iPad. Are we ready for this? Here's our green screen. So the way in which it's going to work, I need a volunteer. Come on up. I brought a book. We're going to have to give her a little bit of time to familiarize herself with the book. The book is The Astronaut That Painted the Moon. Are we familiar with this book? Oh, it's a good one. I really like narrative nonfiction because I like true stories as much as fictional ones. I think they're just as good. And so I'm just going to give you the short version of this. This is There we go. Yep. This is one of the astronauts who walked on the moon, who happened to be an artist as well, who came back and painted pictures of the photographs that he took of the moon. So he was both a scientist and an artist. And he did this because the photographs that he took were very flat, black and white, and he wanted people to see that the moon was way more spacious and amazing than was captured in the photograph. So, okay, so now let's show him some pictures here. Let's go. A poor woman, she's, okay. There's my astronaut. There's him checking off to the moon. Oh, while you're doing that, you keep going. I'm gonna switch us out here.
Planting the flag. Oh yes. Oh, he loves running. Loves running without getting tired. He took dozens of photographs. Thank you. All right. Alan's friends asked him about his time in space. What was it like up there? He tried to explain the moon's barren beauty, but the words weren't enough, and his photographs just showed a grim and gloomy place. There was so much more to the moon than that, so much magic and mystery. How could Alan share his story so others would understand? Oh, he's already a painter. He has paints and brushes. Then Alan let his imagination take over. He added red and purple to the gray dust, blue and green to the black craters, yellow and orange to the white sunlight. The moon didn't look exactly real, but Alan didn't want it to. The painting showed how stunning outer space looked through his eyes and how it made him feel. A museum displayed Alan's paintings for everyone to see. Other astronauts came to remember their own awesome adventures in space. Everybody liked it, right? Uh-huh. And pictures of his real journey, photos of his real journey, photos of his real journey, a timeline, and an easel with one of his pictures back up on the moon.
Okay, so that was the quickest reading, but you are a teacher librarian and you can handle this. So you're going to go and wrap yourself up in that green right there. Yeah, just grab the corners from the bottom. Keep going. Keep going. Ta-da! There she is. She's a talking head. Okay, I don't know if I can do, would you mind being the mic holder again? Oh, thank you. So I have up on the screen, you see a sample project. This is Do Ink. Oh, let me go back. Come on, machine. Yep. Right here, the little, see where it says green screen right there? That's where we're headed, right there. Okay, live and in person. No, it's Dean Robbins. The astronaut. Oh, God. Alan Bean. Excuse me. Alan Bean. Okay? Come back, machine. All right. Got it right. Okay, so I think we need to put you're going to have to talk loud, right? Okay. How long is that? Yeah. The whole, just really quick. Just a couple of sentences. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, tell me when.
Okay. After I say 3, I'm going to press.
Alan, Bean was an astronaut. He was strong and smart and scientific, like all astronauts are. But he had an additional talent. He loved to paint. When Alan Bean went to the moon, he took a lot of photographs because he thought that space was so stunningly beautiful. But when he got back home, they looked kind of gray and kind of gritty. How can people feel the same way that I do about the beauty of the moon, he thought. Sweet God, how it is arts and his easel and his paints, and you'll have to read the book to see what happened.
All right, she's amazing. Wow. She is amazing. Oh, yep, thank you, ma'am. All right, so now we're going to take this video that we just created and we're going to put it into Do Ink. It's like $2.99, something like that. It's not outrageous. It's affordable. You know what? I think so. All right, so there she is. Uh-oh. I didn't quite get it all. Notice how we're going to have a little white streak going through our book. You have to take the picture in such a way that you only see the green. And I didn't bring all this stuff because I felt like I was lugging stuff around. But we have green washing gloves, Playtex gloves, that the kids wear so that they can cover themselves. Because it just tips, I know. So now we are adding our image. Notice how she's arrived. Oh my goodness! I did not realize I was going to have to hold the microphone when I was doing this. Woo. Want me to hold it for you? Oh yeah, that'd be great. I should have taken her from the side. Yeah, we'll just keep going. Okay. Okay, it's exporting our project right now, and then we'll play it, and it's literally as easy as that. So so when I'm in upper elementary classrooms and high school classrooms, the kids do it themselves. I just show them, and then they're all set to go. No, I did it just on my laptop. Yeah. Yes, I've had entire groups of them. Yes. And oh, it's ready to go. So let's preview our video. Let's see if it will play.
Alan Bean was an astronaut. He was strong and smart and scientific, like all astronauts are. But he had an additional talent. He loved to paint. When Alan Bean went to the moon, he took a lot of photographs because he thought that space was so stunningly beautiful. But when he got back home, they looked kind of gray and kind of gritty. How can people feel the same way that I do about the beauty of the moon, he thought. Sweet God, how it is arts and his easel and his paints, and you'll have to read the book to see what happened.
Yay, you are amazing. Okay, so everybody gets kind of the hang of it. I've had entire groups of people in that. This fine cloth, you know, I bought at the fabric store for like when the last time things went on sale. And actually, I have more than one of them because we've draped furniture and had people behind a desk. We've done all manner of things. That's when the green Playtex gloves came about because we had to be able to drape and do. Yes?
I went to the dollar store and I got green plastic buckets so you can make things just like disappear. And I got wooden dowels and I taped it with
Right, right. And what we didn't show was I had only used 2 layers of Do Ink. There are like 4 or 5. So we can have more than one person floating through this. We can put more than one video together. There's just endless possibilities for this. Endless. So the kids, I told you about the kids that had to display their projects because they did one of the it's project-based learning where I'm at the moment. And one of the things they did was they created little free libraries. And so they had to have a presentation model for their little free libraries. So we had the video of the whole thing turning, right? Their little free library and going inside the whole tour of it. Because you can do all of that behind a green screen and put anything you want behind it. Okay? So one of the students had facts about reluctant readers and illiteracy in Fresno County. That was the backdrop of the entire thing. And then they narrated over it. So I love it because it's really easy. Ours was a little rough today, but if we were left with the green duct tape, which, by the way, thank you, that is absolutely key. The green gloves and the green duct tape are key to this endeavor. It's become so popular. Okay, and I have to tell you, I've been at this career technical school since August, okay? But it's become so popular since August that they come and check it out. They take it back to their classrooms, they, create the world, they bring it back to me. I have to have more than one, okay? So this is the classic red box example where you take your latest fiction and you put it up there and you say a few words about it. Oh, this is a great fantasy novel, love story, la la la. And then you put it on the QR code and kids can just click and they can see what's happening. So in that instance, you're going to put all of your videos on Google Drive and then you're going to create a QR code from there. These are the logistics, right? Then you just place the QR code somewhere on the book or next to the book or wherever you feel comfortable. That's kind of how that works. Okay, so the second thing I wanted us to play in was Tour Creator. This is predominantly Google stuff. How many of us have played with Tour Creator? Oh, a couple of people. Yes. Yesterday. Oh. Oh, okay. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, so Tour Creator is Google's three-dimensional presentation platform. You have to go in, you have to have a Google account, and you go in and you set it up. So I went to a high school classroom not where I'm at now, this was last spring. It was a French class, and they were going to do presentations about Paris. They were French 2s. And the cool thing about Tour Creator is that once you have your 360 image in, you can insert into that image, in these cool little round dots, you can insert audio, you can insert text, you can insert images, okay? So here was the beginning of my, now you know why I had the remove, that's, by the way, guess how I did that? Remove BG. Yeah, so I taught, they needed to have an opening slide, an opening slide. So I taught all the kids how to do Remove BG. And then they did the most phenomenally creative things with Remove BG that I ever thought of. Like one person was holding up the Arc de Triomphe and they did all sorts of crazy stuff. To personalize, right, their virtual tour of Paris. So they create their tour in Tour Creator. This is the logistical part again. And then they save it, and it saves to another program. I'm going to just go backwards, go this way really fast. Ooh, oh, that's me. We did one for the library just to show them how to do it. It saves to this area called Google Pali, or you can save to Google Expeditions. Google Pali is just on your laptop, and you just can view it. If you go into Google Expeditions, you can put on the Google goggles and see it in 3 dimensions. It's really interesting to me. Some kids really like that experience. Some kids do not. They'd rather just view it on their phones or their devices. Just depends. So, that's us. So, so the images that we used for our presentation were out of Google Maps. So if you go into Google Maps, there are 360 pictures. You have two options. You can use something from Google Maps, or you can use 360 pictures that you take yourself. You can also go to Google Street View. Oh, I've got a lot going on in your heads right now. And you can create the 360 pictures of the place that you're at. Let me see if I can give you an example. Oh, I'm going to hook up to my phone now. Where's my phone? We did this with the school. You can create pictures, and then you can upload them. You can publish them to Google Maps. So, how many of us go on the field trip? Does anyone go on the field trip with the kids ever? Oh, a couple people. Good. So what happens is, if you look on your phone, you can download the app, and it's called Google Street View. I better give better explanation here, because now I'm just talking. Oop, doop, 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 doop. There it is, Google Street View. Yep, that's what it looks like, just like that. It's free. You download it on your phone, and what it allows you to do is to take 360 pictures with your phone. Okay? So as you move your phone, a little orange dot appears, and you just keep following the dot, and you go all the way around, and you have your 360 picture. Then you have a couple of things going on. You have the option to publish it. If you are in a public place, these are things you need to know about Street View. If you are in a public place and you don't have any people in the picture, it's really easy to publish it almost immediately. If you have people in the picture, it's going to ask you if you want to blur out anything. Okay? You must blur out the faces of people in order to upload a picture. In addition to that, wherever you are at on the map, it will ask you, there's a bar across the top. That's why I may pull my phone out. Are we doing well, or do you need to see it on my phone? Oh, no comment. Okay, we're going with it. You can also contribute. So if you click on contribute, it will show you shots that Google would like to get. This is actually really fun. So my example is West Side Elementary out in the middle of 5 Points, which if you don't know where 5 Points is, that's because nobody does. It's out in the beyond, okay? The kids go to Monterey. That's their big field trip. Many of them have never been there. They've never seen the ocean. It's a very rural setting, 5 Points. And so one of the things that we did was we said, we had it on one of the teachers' phones. We found a picture in Monterey, points of interest, right, that they did not have pictures for. We took the picture and we published it. It was the most exciting things those kids ever did. They contributed to Google. Okay? Now, things you need to know about that, you must be in a public place. You cannot have anybody's face showing. You may not do it in a private environment. It will not publish for you then. Okay? Yep, so you can't be in a classroom doing it if you're using Google Street View. You have to use a real 360 camera to do that. All right? But it is outrageous fun. And the kids, wait a minute. I'm just giving you an example of, they have pictures of humans, but I'm telling you right now, you can't have pictures of humans. It won't upload for you. So we did this. This is Street View. This is an example of Street View. So we did it with little kids. These were like 4th or 5th graders. So I thought, well, heck, let's try it with big kids. Sure enough, we went to the Fresno Zoo. We hit contribute. There were spots that people wanted to see. We took pictures. We uploaded them. I know, it's outrageous fun. It's contributing to the community at that point. So, but that's not the purpose of this. It's just a cool, like, side effect. It has points of interest that it doesn't have pictures for, and then if you shoot a good shot of that, right, it goes up. Okay? So let's get back over here. So, I should go to Tour Creator right now and show you one. Do we have time? Let me see. Yes, I'd love to see. Okay. Let me go to a Tour Creator really quickly. Well, let's go to Pali first. No, let's go to Tour Creator. I wonder if it knows it's me. It must know it's me. Oh, yes. Okay, so now you can actually see mine. Oh yeah, this is a library tour. So this was France, and I just wanted to get everyone a sense of what it looked like. So this was my sample for the kids. So here's my master slide, getting everybody started, and then see, here was the Centre Pompidou, and see it says set start view. Anywhere in that 360 picture, I can tell Google that's where I want to start looking, okay? And it will start there, and then as the person moves, it will pan, okay? The other thing that people don't realize is if you lift your device up and start moving, it moves with you. The picture will change, okay? So it's not a swipe thing. It literally, wherever you move your device is where it's going to go. So here's another one example. There's the Eiffel Tower. So I set that as the start view. And then I wanted everyone to see. There we go. I can put these buttons in, which are points of interest. And in a point of interest, do you see how it says describe this point of interest? That is where students can write, they can add an image, or they can speak. So for the purposes of French 2, they spoke in French. Pretty fun, huh? Well, that's where you have the option. You can determine the whether it's totally public or partially private. We left them private, and then the kids, we did them they shared with each other. But it goes to Google Pali, that's the place where it gets housed, or to Google Expeditions. Those are the two places. No. They're just watching it. Yep. It's a repository. So what I'm going to do now, does everyone kind of understand how we created it? Okay. So I could type in anywhere I wanted in Google Maps in Paris. We could go with the Seine River, and then pictures of the Seine River would pop up on the map view, and then we would select one, and then we would add it to our tour. Does everyone see how that works? Okay, so the plan for this French teacher is the second years are creating this and the first years are going to view them, right? And he hopes to assign the third years different cities in France, and then they will create them, and the second years will view what the third years did. You see what I mean? Yep, he's mapping France this way. So, but there are lots of cool things you can do. You could do Oregon Trail this way. There are lots of cool things. Okay, so I'm going to go to Pali now. That's the repository. Oh, shoot. Go back. I need tours. This is where your tour... Pali is a receptacle for virtual reality stuff. So you can do a lot of animated three-dimensional design. There's a lot of stuff in Pali. But these are examples of tours. So if you want to start with a tour with kids before you have them create a tour, that's totally acceptable. So here is landmarks of St. Louis. You see how it says here like 5 scenes? That means there are going to be 5 images with points of interest on them. So there's scene 1. Let's see if this person, oh, they don't have any points of interest. Aw, that's no fun. Oh, let's go find something better. I know for a fact, because I know a bunch of kids publish theirs, that if you do Paris, France, something will come up. Oh, now see your dots? And see how the explanation comes up? That could be audio or that could be an image. Just depends on what you want to do. Oh. Keep moving, mister. Isn't it cool? Yeah. Super fun. And you put on the 3Ds. So I got kids to make me, you know, Google goggles. Actually, I got them because I'm at a career technical school to modify them so that I could have iPad goggles, because we have a bunch of iPads and we're not supposed to have our phones out at school. And so that's the benefit of being in a build school. It's just a cardboard build. It was really easy for them. They were happy to manufacture them for me. And I don't ever use them with them because they're high school kids. They've got their phones everywhere. So I took the technology they created for me and use it with little kids. Yeah. Right. Any questions about how this might work? Okay, because now we're going to go to when you, oh, how much time do I have? You guys, I only have 5 minutes. Do you want me to move on or just finish this? Okay. Good. Good, 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 good. Alrighty, so that's Tour Creator. Now you get a total sense of what that slide looks like. You can do it. You can use a 360 camera if you were to see the one of my library. I did it with a 360 camera. That was my opening page. And I thought, and I put the Pali down there so you can see it. Okay. I just had pictures of all the people that worked in the library. My library is sandwiched in amongst offices because, well, you know, county offices, yeah. Okay, the last thing I really want to talk about, oh, is this the last thing? No, it's second to the last thing, but I'm going to be fast. How many people know about Spark Video? Oh, it should be everybody in the room. All right, this is really like the easiest gateway drug to video that I know of, okay? So it's easy peasy. So you sign in. Spark Video was meant for, Adobe Spark, the suite. It actually has a whole series of things. It was meant for small business, and they still market to small business, and they market for content marketing, and that's where a small business person takes the product or the service and they explain it, okay? They give you that infomercial that explains what it is. That was the initial intent of Adobe Spark. That's how it started, and you can still sign up and learn all about content marketing and about how to do that. And so it was 3 things. It was something that made a really cool social media post very quickly. It was a Canva-like visual. And it was this video, okay? This video platform. And then after a while, they took on the educational side. So now you can have an educator's account, yes, for Spark Video. But when I brought this to the high school, that's what these kids are going to do, right? They're going to build things for the rest of their life. So I really wanted them to learn about content marketing. And then my English teachers, they let me show them. And then the products that came out were so good. So you log in with your computer. This is the one that I used. Creating oral histories. Are we all familiar with, you don't have to see that. Are we familiar with StoryCorps? StoryCorps is, I think it's, isn't it PBS that puts out StoryCorps? And that's, it's NPR, okay. And they are mapping the voices of America, very much so. So we wanted to create oral histories, and so we asked the kids to identify their roots and to start gathering pictures and such. We have a large Hmong community. We have a large Hispanic community. And so the kids culturally identified where they came from. It was a very powerful activity for the kids, because some kids don't associate with the stereotypes that you might associate with their ethnicity. Does that make sense to everybody? So we use this. So they gathered their pictures. The cool thing about Adobe Spark is it's just like PowerPoint in that you put your slides in, but you have the ability to put video in as well. Then it has an audio function where when you are talking, when you have the slide up and you are talking, it will save it to that slide. But then in addition to that, it has the ability to put background music behind it. And it automatically arranges that background music in such a way that it does not overshadow your voice. Now, anyone who's ever taught video production knows that is the big no-no. If you, what's the WeVid? I've spent years in WeVid trying to teach kids when they put that sound behind them not to make it so loud that I can't hear what they're saying. I know it's your favorite rap song, but it's not working for me. That's what I tell them. Okay? This allows that. It's got a huge music library of copyright-free music to use. It has the ability to upload music that you choose. So what comes together is a really super professional-looking presentation very, very quickly. And I love this for my high school kids. Oop, question?
Oh no, I was just going to comment. It's so easy, and so many people don't know about it. I use it to promote the new book I add each month at the end of the month with the video announcements, because I've just started doing video announcements this school year, but they only them on Friday, and they work on them all week. So I do a quick video to promote everything we added for the month and send it to the video production teacher. And after about the third or fourth time, he says, "How are you making those so quick?" And so we had me come in and sample the kids how to use it, and they were like, mind blown.
Yep, it's amazing. It's one of the things you must dabble in. For my lower level kids, realize that reading, they have to read out loud in order to improve fluency. They have to, okay? And so one of the things I've done is put pages of a book in there and had them read into the microphone just to practice their reading skills, because then the people in that small group instruction listen to it. And that's one of the ways you improve fluency. I think I'm out of time. Oh, I am. I know. That's all about Adobe Spark. Woo! That, I knew it would get short at the end. Thank you, everyone, for your patience and your time.